Okay, in this video, I want to talk about the idea of desires. We all have desires, and we all also have the kind of understanding in society that we're supposed to kind of push down our desires because desires can lead to temptation and bad behavior, let's say. Okay, so many things in our society teach us that desire is bad. So I think this quote is really important because it addresses this issue. Okay, so it says, most people think that I'm supposed to let it go, but you can't let go of your desires. Just let go of the sadness in thinking it's not coming. That's the big difference. Okay, so this world is full of things that are tantalizing and fill us with desire or hope or excitement. I mean, it's everywhere you look. However, though, because we are just one person and the world is so huge, inevitably we are going to recognize that we cannot do everything. Okay, so there's a degree of frustration there. We cannot be the best at everything, and we cannot be everything. Also, when we're young and we fail at things in our lives, we tend to think, based on our experiences, that we are just not good at things because we'd compared ourselves to everyone around us. And I know my experience at school, for example, was one of quiet frustration. I was not unpopular or offensive, but I was often really upset inside about not being remarkable. I was a short, skinny, baby-faced boy who didn't particularly do well in any subject. And although I did have a pretty good childhood, I realized when I was a young man that I had lots of problems with myself. I got very upset whenever I didn't understand something, as I felt I was not smart enough. I wanted to be special and I wanted to be noticed, just the same as anyone else. But instead, like many people, I felt like my life was developing into a gradual disappointment. I wasn't particularly good at anything, but I wasn't keen on being like everyone else, and I always felt the need to move to the beat of my own drum. But I felt that because most of my childhood was about being good but not great, that I was destined to be just okay. I mean, I did have talents like I could draw, I like driving, I have a very strong imagination, and I like being creative. But throughout school, there was never a teacher or task that ever really allowed me to be special. The tragedy of this is that we become used to being part of the system. We listen all day to this school philosophy of meeting standards and, fitting in, leaving many people with a mindset of being an ineffective human being. This programming can take quite a bit of re-education to let go of. And this is why I harp on about feeling from in here, your heart, about who you are, because none of us should feel failed by a system that sees fitting in as the core goal of society. Yet at the same time, we are bombarded by things that heighten our desires. You go to the shops and you just see sex, image, fast cars, money, houses, jet setting, lifestyles. So the message here is, fit in and try to reach someone else's standards. But then, when you leave school, try to get all these things to make yourself feel complete. Like, get stuff to make yourself feel good. And, whilst I do believe that our lives are meant to be filled with love and success, I also think that in order to feel that love and success, we have to know who we are from knowing how we feel about things. And from knowing how you feel about things, you can actually get a sense of whether or not that thing makes you happy and is good for you or not. For example, your father could have told you to be a doctor. It is a noble profession. However, if you don't feel good doing it, Like a lot of kids feel pressure to do something that their parents want them to do, and they get that good feeling from the parents, but slowly but surely, you'll be separating yourself from yourself for quite a long time until you feel like you've got your parents' approval enough and you can go, okay, now I can do what I want. But, you may have practiced yourself out of feeling yourself, knowing what you want, following that feeling. So once you get a feeling for what you want, you can tell how it will play out in your life by the amount of easy thoughts you have about it. Okay, so if you really want something but you've got a lot of fear surrounding it, then obviously that thing that you want in your life is going to have a lot of difficulty coming into your life. For example, if you say, I want to be rich, but I don't think I quite deserve it, or I don't have any references in my mind that tell me I deserve it, means I'll always be fighting for money. For example, I want to get married, but I think that the opposite sex is crazy. So I'll always get that sort of person in my life. And another example, I want to be healthy, yet I don't think I have the willpower to stop smoking or stop eating junk food, means that I'll always find some reason to be unhealthy. So if we can resist the urge to ponder that thought of, I really hate this thing in my life, then the thing that we want can turn up in our lives quickly. And the hard bit is that we need to rid ourselves of the programming of our entire lives and recognize that the desires that we have for our lives are not going to elude us if we believe in them. And it takes a lot of courage to believe in things when no one else sees it. But again, if we can just resist the urge to keep bringing up the past or our limitations that we heard before, then things are not as hard as they seem. And if we can find a way to let go of the sadness that you feel when it's not there, it will give the time for the things that you do want to come into your life.